Welcome back to Survival on Purpose coverage of the 2025 SHOT Show. As I said, I'm here with Jason Breeden, Condor Knives, looking at some stuff Jason's designed that I thought was really cool. I think hopefully you'll think it's really cool. And so, Jason, take it away and show us what we've got here.
All right, Brian, good to see you again this year, by the way. So glad to have you with me. And so we'll kind of start off with something here that you picked up on early on. So this is the Mountain Pass series, and this is actually called the Surveyor. Little story behind it was just as a kid, went out surveying a lot with my dad. Never got to carry the machete a lot, so what I did was I kind of always sketched up in my mind some nice little handy chopper that I had, and we put a nice swedge on the back so that if you want to sharpen that up, maybe you can do a little draw cut on something that's too flimsy to chop on. It's got a really nice flat top here where if you need to baton through, you can, but you still have the swedge, so it's kind of offsets the fact that you have a thinner area here. With all my designs, it does have a nice 90-degree edge if you need to do fire steel striking, things like that. I call this a modified coffin handle. So you have brown micarta here, canvas micarta. And there are screws, but it's really, it's all put together. It's a solid piece and really made to be not taken apart. But I just kind of like the look of how that is. Does have a couple of nice orange liners, which I think kind of make it stand out as well. And it's in the classic Condor finish and made out of 1095.
So wait, did I hear you say that this knife is designed with the intent of being able to be baton?
Yes. Yeah.
You mean, wow, because people tell me all the time that's not what knives are designed for.
Yeah.
All the time. Who would do that? Only an idiot would do that.
Hey, I like to leave, don't get me wrong, some of my designs actually do have swedges and things here where it's harder to baton, but naturally for me I like to give the option to carry a thicker blade out to the end. Plus for strength, this was designed to have a lot of strength, even to get in and pry on something, pop on something a little bit. Not that you should use a knife for that, but you never, look, we all grew up with knives. Sometimes you kind of use what's handy in there. And it does come with a nice, Condor I think is really well known for their their leathers, so this comes with a really nice fitted sheath. Actually, I don't think that one's ever even been pushed in, so first time, and fits tight. It's actually got a dangler for lower carry, mid carry through this loop, and then you can add clips or run your belt through it for kind of like a scout carry. And that's one of my favorites right there. It actually has some personal history to it, and really a wonderful knife for just light carry in your pack. So
yeah, that's the one I looked at. It just drew my eyes. I like that.
And then also new for this year, got a couple of other models. So we'll skip from the little chopper to the big boy here. So this is a K-Knight series, and this is a Panabas. So it's sort of my take on a very classic Filipino design. Obviously, a lot of knives have a root somewhere in agriculture or being used as a tool, as this one does too. Just in my history, I don't have an in-depth history or personal connection, but what I researched on these is they were used for tools and then converted into weapons. Again, it does have a familiar K-Knight handle shape where I actually turned the rear of the K-Knight handles up in order to maintain the classic Panabas look. It is thinner like a Panabas and actually has three geometries going on here with a straight edge, a belly, and then another sort of finer belly here. A lot of these knives were used, Brian, for everything from maybe working in the market, to all kinds of agricultural uses. This one I actually did put a swedge on the back, a little bit of weight and balance work, but also this could be sharpened if you wanted to use it as sort of a sickle maybe, or a sort of a side cutting motion. And you can dig, pry, and pop out taters if you want that.
So it's got a nice convex edge on it too?
Yeah. 1075 with the satin finish from Condor and black micarta handles.
So just another little everyday carry knife.
Yeah, a little something to poke me. And like all the K-Knights, it does come with a Kydex sheath with leather overmolding for different carry options, right? So it has some really nice options there. And then finally, Brian, I'll show you this one. So this is the new K-Knight Tomahawk, and got a lot of features packed in. Again, black micarta, it is thin, and we have several things going on here. So the first one, traditional Tomahawk head, we've actually thinned it down, put a little swedge on the back. This thing is really good at penetrating, right? So maybe not what you want if you're going to go cut a tree down, but it does its job as a tomahawk. The point here on the back actually has a lot of good features. A lot of tomahawks are sharpened, right, for a combat purpose necessarily. Obviously, you don't want to get touched with that in a negative way, but what I can say about this is the grind on it was very purposeful so that you could actually pierce maybe like a 55-gallon drum or tear through a door or a wall, so a lot for that type of work as well. And then here at the bottom, we have actually a thickened, so if you look, it's actually milled down, and then at the bottom we actually have a thicker hammer edge there, and actually you can choke up on this and really do some hammering, right? So one of the bad parts of carrying a true tomahawk is you don't really have a good hammer area, so I wanted to add something down here at the end where if you needed to, you could actually do, drive a stake or do something of that nature with it. If you needed to, for a lot of different combat grips and things, you can really use this. Many different grip options all the way down to the end and use it as a traditional hawk.
Does it have a mask or a sheath with it?
It does. Actually, the sheath is Kydex, and it comes with 2 dog ears for belt mounting, and it's bottom draw, so you actually sheath engages from the top right there on it. So,
Think I can stick it in that wall over there? I'm sure better. They might not like that because I somehow have a weakness for throwing stuff like this. Anyway, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I mean, it's a lot of other new things. We've got a cleaver and some other stuff that have come out in the new K-Night series. So, take a look. You can find us on condortk.com, and
there you go.
A lot of new things to look at this year.
Jason, I appreciate you taking a minute to talk to us.
Brian,
I know you got to run.
You.
You said you had a disappointment, but thank you for watching Survival on Purpose coverage of the 2025 SHOT Show. Remember, survival's not an accident. Be prepared. I'll see you next time.